Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I hope you find a book you love. If you were with me last year, I still hope you found a book you love, but equally important, I hope that I helped you to make choices to find the right book for you. And if you didn't love a book, that's equally as good, because it's just helped you and saved you from ordering a book online that you couldn't see inside. I know myself, I've made some awful mistakes ordering books online, and this is why I like to show you inside and talk a little bit about them, just so you can make the correct choice and find a book that you're going to find really helpful, really useful, and hopefully love using. So there were some great books last year. I didn't get time to record videos on all of the wonderful books that I found, so the first few books I'm looking at were all published in 2024. We're going to start off with Draw Amazing Faces, Learn the Basics and Develop Your Own Style by Pypah Santos. This book has 144 pages. It's a paperback or softback, and it was published by Quarry. So we'll have a look inside. I think it's a lovely size because you get really good size diagrams, illustrations, very easy to see everything. So we start off here with acknowledgements and the contents. So we have the approach, proportions and perspective, shading, lighting and rendering, drawing the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the ears, the hair, putting it all together, faces in colour, and we have further practice, some parting words, resources about the author and the index. So we start with the introduction, some photos of Pypah and her self-portraits. I love these full colour illustrations throughout the book. So we have the approach, some favourite materials, and let's break it down. And I think this is where this book is really good for anyone who's completely new to drawing faces, because you've got the boxes, the step by step, you can see every little stage. So it's not so scary when you can see how to break things down. So we start with the basic shapes of the head and face. You can see the coloured lines. We can see exactly what you're being shown. This also makes it much easier to follow. We've got different angles, the skull, proportions and perspective. Again, we've got the different lines, step-by-step instructions. We have here the guidelines, so we've got red for eyes and nose and blue for the ear. We have these shaded areas to show you different angles. And we move on to the box method, which I think is the best way to learn how to draw a head. It's easier to fit the head into a box. So we've got some step-by-step instructions. Throughout the book, look for these blue boxes with some additional tips. All these different angles to help you. And we move on to shading, lighting and rendering. Now you'll see here we have a QR code. There are several of those throughout the book to take you to a video for some extra help from Pypah. Now we've got light sources, shadows and highlights. So we can see shadows are green, highlights are yellow. And we move on to drawing the eyes. This is very detailed. We've got lovely big drawings. We've got very clear step-by-step information. I think this book is brilliant for visual learners. We have the anatomy, and I think the way it's set out with space between different areas, this makes it easier to absorb the information as well. Drawing an eye step-by-step, another QR code there. And drawing the nose. Some shading, and we have drawing the mouth. We've got adding some teeth in a minute. And there we go, teeth and smiles. And then we move on to the ears. Drawing the hair. So different hair types, starting with an outline, adding the details, putting it all together. So we're adding all the features, the age and gender, some fullness, some expression, and portraits, adding character and personality. And then we have faces in colour. So we have some colour theory, some skin tones. I personally find skin tones quite difficult. And then we have rendering in different mediums. So we start with pencils, markers, coloured pencils, acrylic, watercolour and inks, gouache. Now I call it gouache because that's what it was called when I went to art college, but you might know that as gouache, digital, and we have a coloured pencil portrait step by step, and a gouache portrait step by step, and further practice. So we have playing with styles, using references, drawing from life, museums, objects, life drawing sessions, parting words and resources, about the author and the index. So I think this is a wonderful book for anyone. If you're a complete beginner and you want to learn to draw faces and portraits, you've got all the basics in here. And you've got these QR codes as well for the video library. I just think this is an amazing book full of amazing faces. Now Pypah has her own very distinctive style. Even if you don't like her style, I think you would learn an awful lot from this book. And if you do like this style, I think you will absolutely love this book. So as I mentioned, great for visual learners. You've got all the basics, and Pypah is going to encourage you to develop your own style. So I think it's well worth having a look at this book if you're at all interested in learning to draw faces. I think if you're a little bit scared of drawing faces or portraits, it would be a wonderful place to start. And it's, you know, suitable for absolute complete beginner, younger artist, older artist. Never be scared to look at a book that you feel is for the younger audience, because those are the books that are really easy to understand. They're not going to baffle you with difficult terminology and great big wadges of text. You've got the facts, you've got the illustrations, you've got the step-by-step instructions, you've got everything you need to start off. So that's Draw Amazing Faces. I think it's wonderful. Let me know what you think, please.